There are a lot of places that you can build your camp in Fallout 76. Some are better for gathering resources, others are locations that are close to other important locations, and some are just very visually appealing places. But in this video, I will be showing you a bunch of great places for you to build your camp at that you probably never knew about. But before we get into this video, if you're a fan of the Fallout games and the Fallout TV show, click the link in the pinned comment below to join my Fallout Discord server, where you can find other people to play Fallout 76 with, discuss the Fallout TV show, or just talk about anything related to Fallout. Now, the first location in this video is the location that I actually use for my camp, and it will be found right here on your map to the northwest of Vault 76. This camp location will be centered around this small pond that you can collect water from and fish into. This will give you an infinite supply of food and water. Beehives will also spawn on the rocks above the water, which you can harvest for honey. This location is in the forest region, so you can walk through the forest to collect resources like wood and herbs. And it's right between Settlers Ridge and Anchor Farm, which will be two locations that you can easily run to gather more crafting resources. Anchor Farm also has crops that you can harvest for more food, Brahmins that you can milk, and it's just full of good items. Like I said, this is where my primary camp is, and I love the location and I don't plan on moving. The next camp location will be at Organ Cave West, which will be right here on your map. Now, this location will be a half-gated junkyard outside of the entrance to the Organ Cave. This will instantly give you some free walls and protection that will cover your camp, and there's room to build more walls on the other side. One of the best parts about this location is that it has a wood pile and a junk pile, which will let you build wood and junk extractors, giving you an unlimited supply of wood and random junk items that you can collect and then scrap down for crafting resources. That junk pile alone is worth building a camp here, as you can use it to really stockpile everything that you may need for crafting. There's some random plants in the area that you can harvest as well, and when you need water you can go into the Organ Cave and collect water there. There will also be enemies in the cave that drop loot, and there will be loot scattered throughout the cave. This is actually a really great spot to build. The next location will be right here on your map. Now, this spot is a pretty open area that you can build in. In the center area, you could build your main camp, then you could build like watchtowers on the rocks that are around the center. And at the back of the area, there is a small cave with some overhead protection. This would make for a good wilderness camping spot, but there's not much nearby in terms of resources. But if you like the whole cave base idea, I have some much crazier cave locations later in the video. Or you could travel slightly to the west to this location on your map, and here you'll find a collapsed tunnel that you can build in. This is a much deeper cave, but again there won't be much in terms of resources. The next camp location can be found right here on your map. Now, this is actually a pretty cool location, as it will have these structures around it made of cars. It also has a big throne right in the middle of the structures, and NPC settlers will come and go from this location, which will add life to your camp, which is a really cool addition. But again, there won't be any resources here other than a berry bush and a toolbox, but it's still a really cool spot that you probably didn't know about. The next location is a new location that came with the Burning Springs update, and it will be found right here on your map. Now, this spot will cover the bridge that is located here, and it's a decent sized bridge that will have a lot of room on it, and you can build underneath it. There's also a car full of skeletons beside it that you can include in your build. And this location is also along the route of the Wandering Doctor NPC, who will occasionally pass through your camp, and you can sell items to him or you can buy medical items from him. After this, we have another Burning Springs location, which will be found right here on your map to the north of the Dino Peaks mini golf area. And here you'll find a caved-in train tunnel that you can build a little bit inside of. There won't be a ton of room in here, but you can definitely work out some interesting builds for this location, and that Wandering Doctor NPC will also pass through here. But both locations don't really have any resources at them. For the next two hidden camp locations, you'll want to go to this spot on your map. Here you'll find a ruined house with a settler at it. That settler will be working the farm outside of the house, and there will actually be a decent amount of food being grown there. You'll also find junk items inside of the house that you can scrap. But the cool part about this location is the hidden underground bunker behind the house that you can build inside of and decorate. But if you don't like this underground bunker, there is another one right beside it to the west, and it will be found under this power line tower. Personally, I like this underground bunker more because the ground above it is flat, so you can build a camp on top of it to hide it, then build an entrance to this secret bunker. It just won't have the pre-built crops that give you a food supply, but you can build that yourself. The next camp spot will be right here on your map. When you get here, you'll find this large crane. Now the camp location won't be the crane itself, instead you'll want to run up the stairs on the arm of the crane. And then here you'll find a platform that you can build from. This will require a little bit of creativity, but it's an easy to build floating camp location, which are pretty popular, and they are generally very safe as enemies won't be able to reach you, so you won't need to repair your camp pieces after enemies attack them. Next up on the list will be right here on your map in Skyline Valley. Here you'll find a pre-built treehouse base that you can add onto and decorate. There will be 2 floors to this treehouse with a much larger room on the top floor that you can put your crafting tables in. And a nice little extra bonus to this camp is that under the treehouse you can build a steel extractor to gain passive steel. There's also a point of interest nearby that you can do loot runs at to gain more resources, and there's a ton of wood on the ground around the treehouse. And the final camp spot can be found right here on your map. Now this was actually a very surprising spot that I never knew about. So when you get here, you'll find an entrance to a cave. Then when you enter it, you'll find a very long underground tunnel. This tunnel will stretch across the entire road above you, and it's very long. But halfway through this tunnel, you'll find an underground bunker. This is probably the coolest underground area that I have seen, just because these tunnels are so long, and you can definitely use them to create a cool hidden underground camp. And you'll find silver ore in these tunnels, which can be pretty helpful. And those are a bunch of secret camp locations that you probably didn't know about. But honestly, there are so many hidden spots in Fallout 76. I could have easily put together a list of over 100 locations. So if this video does well, I'll make a much longer list and post it to this channel. So if you enjoyed this video and want to see more camp locations, make sure you like this video and subscribe to this channel. And thank you for watching.